dives out of all of the athletes in this competition. So that should help her as long as she can execute those tough dives as well as we saw her do in
here at the 19 University of Texas Diving Invitation. Jordan Skilkin.
Starting a back 2.5 tuck. I said earlier, I think the key to this event are back. You can see her shoulders when she's hitting the water there in slow motion. It's a great angle to see where that splash comes up.
In a 47.6 from Powell, Ohio, Youth and Communities.
Pretty cool.
Her diver coming up.
Perfectly vertical.
All 7.5, 67.50 for Gibson.
Plenty of momentum to complete that dive under her belt in order to feel comfortable and confident kicking out of that tuck position at the right time. Now you'll see she's the only diver who's chosen to dive on one of the dives, come into finals, and really day. Perfectly balanced diving board. Maybe came out of that tuck position.
For the freshman from Ohio.
And if you're Coach Goggin.
So now a quartet of divers from the University of Texas. Manager, a reverse 2.5 summer sea gang. 2-0 will bring her to 101 points to put her atop the leaderboard. Allison Gibson, the 3-time Big 12 champ, 1-time NCAA champ, is off and running an impressive lead.
The other back tuning, this does not rank very high. Came out of that tuck position way too early when she reached for, which is why short, and that's also what creates that big splash. All things that the judges are looking. Rotating, unable to pull that water under with her. And that splash is probably the biggest area for deduction. Their legs will, and you definitely will deduct a lot for that.
5.5.
I am not sure how many women, if any, I've really seen compete that, let alone compete it as well as Allison just.
To your final score is well atop the leaderboard at 202.15. Close scrap 105B. The DD on that 2 point in the middle of camp.
No.
Her platform that is at charge of. It's the between each dive. Obviously has to cut it off and cue it up, but he's juggling the two phones going back and forth. 2 5.5s and a 6.
Washes it past vertical.
2 5s, 5.5, 194.25. So relaxed, so animated, having a good day. Even sevens keeps her atop, and we will hear from her when we get back.
That was probably a refresh for her.
4th place after the prelim, ends up Skilkin in with her.
It's a great front 2.5 pike. Probably one of her best dives so far of the event.
Back to freshman to sophomore year.
Diving from her.
6.5s and a 7.267 point.
And really comes out of that tuck position with air. That dive all the way to vertical leaves it just
a considerable advantage over the rest of the field. Gibson, Pineda, Boyman, Crosby, and Ballesteros through